Before we begin, this is the third of 7 layers for this iceberg. If you haven't seen the prior layers, I recommend doing so, but you'll still be able to follow regardless of where you're up to. Let us delve deeper. This is one of my all-time favorite YouTube videos. It's so stupid yet so smart. I don't know why, but it always makes me laugh. A man with a mannequin face mask approaches a door and asks his friend if they're still doing the hand thing.
Shay, are you still doing that hand thing? I heard you're doing the hand thing today.
Almost like a new craze. Everyone there is doing the hand thing. I really don't have a lot to say about this video, as it is essentially the one joke for almost 2 minutes, but if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it at the end of the video.
God, Shay, have you been doing this for 24 hours in a row? Shay, I can't stop doing the thing. What is it?
This disturbing video begins with a man sending a video message to his friend Walter. He wants to tell Walter about his new girlfriend.
Hi, Walter. I was at the mall today and guess what happened? I met the most wonderful girl.
As he begins to tell a tale of meeting this girl at the mall and what they got up to, it becomes apparent that he was stalking this girl and not participating in any of these activities with her.
I know she wanted me to buy it for her because she kept on looking at me and kept on giving me that look. You know the look.
At the end of the video, he shows the girl to the camera, who is tied up and crying. Now, it's incredibly important to acknowledge that this video is completely staged. But people really did think this was real at the time. A comment I found sums this up perfectly. The fact that people believed this was real is what makes it legendary.
Hi, Walter.
This channel falls into the weird art projects category that we saw lots of in the first layer. They appear to be mostly focusing on the musical aspect, as every video is accompanied by a Bandcamp link to be able to download and support their music. Their most famous video is called Who Wants to Gnaw on Human Bones and sits on 4.6 million views. Like a lot of videos we see from this era of the internet, this was apparently seen as creepy at the time, which is much harder to see than most videos, as this seems really quite cute to me. Their second most famous video is called Beasts, sitting on 3.2 million views. It shows a number of different alien-looking creatures that are all working at normal jobs.
I am the beast that leaps the beast. Get out of line and you'll get some of these.
The description reads, "Are you a contributing member of your society?" The final minute of the video appears to be a gigantic zoom out of the world. But their latest video, simply titled Hi, which came out just a year ago, truly demonstrates how far they have come as an artist. Both visually and musically, this is leaps and bounds above their prior work. Whilst still being incredibly experimental, every aspect of this piece is at a stunning quality. Whilst they don't release content frequently, I do recommend checking them out if you enjoy this type of thing, as they are still active as far as I can see. Now, this is pretty dark for layer 3, and isn't talking about one video in particular, but a whole category of videos themselves. Rabies in humans is incredibly awful. Long thought to be 100% fatal, there is a large amount of truth to that, as there are less than 20 cases of humans surviving from clinical rabies that have been documented. Shockingly, 99% of cases where rabies is transmitted to a human is from a domesticated dog, not a wild one. Historically, it was referred to as hydrophobia, a fear of water, due to the symptoms of panic when a victim is presented with liquids to drink. This is quite often what the focus of the videos will be about, all of which are quite frankly terrifying, due to the inevitability of it all. The Meat Sleep channel is an ARG, An ARG or augmented reality game in most cases will be like role-playing as an internet detective for a fictional story. Whilst the official channel only holds 19 videos these days, a channel called Meat Sleep Archives has uploaded all 92 in chronological order. This is a gigantic rabbit hole that deserves its own video, which many other creators have already covered. I'll link some analyses on it in the description, as it's hard for me to do it justice in this format. There are rumors that the owner of the channel passed away 2 years ago, but it's really hard to tell where the game starts and ends, and what the truth is with these sorts of things. So currently, I'm unable to confirm or deny this.
You live here. You are ungrateful. You live here.
The Films of Nanny Lynn is a compilation of different animations made by a woman named Nanny Lynn. These animations were made in the 90s, and a lot of the creators from this list seem to be almost inspired by this sort of content and attempt to replicate it. This is probably one of the only entries on this entire iceberg that is quite wholesome. In reality, she was creating a video using Amiga graphics and voiceover to share her grandchildren's interests. The boy loved dinosaurs and the girl adored princesses, so she combined these for the first story.
And troodons running across the plain. The troodons were being chased by a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The children were also interested in current events. Back in the early 90s, the Bosnian War was ongoing, so the story of Srebrenica makes a bit more sense with this context, though I must stress, only a bit. It has hints of the kids laying the groundwork for the tale, with Nanny Lynn refining it to make it somewhat easier to follow. Again, just a bit.
He put her down and decided maybe if he injected a little more of his antibiotic in the lizard, it would turn back into a white rat.
Both kids were also passionate about science, leading to the creation of Bob the Blob. The story is delightfully nonsensical, much like you'd expect if children were making it up as they went along. It reflects the influence of two kids with slightly different interests due to their gender and personalities.
And when it saw it was in a dish, it climbed out and suddenly announced, "I'm Bob the Blob. I'm a new little boy. I'm going to look over here. No, I better not fall off this table."
But really, what a cool grandma. Nanny Lynn, if you're still with us, I hope your grandchildren have grown up to be as caring and creative as you are. There Is Nothing is a 1-minute looped film by David B. Earl, sitting on just shy of 10 million views. The film is originally played in reverse for 30 seconds, and then the correct way. How it's meant to be interpreted is that the woman dies. She sees what's on the other side, and then is resurrected and simply says the title of the film.
There is nothing.
Implying that there is no heaven or hell. The video without context is already quite disturbing, but with context it becomes almost poetic. This is quite an educational and informative video. The reason for the warped perspective is because it's a 360-degree video. The video aims to show what lunchtime at school is like for someone with and without autism. First, we see what is considered normal.
Notice here that the sounds and lighting are normal.
And then next, we see through the eyes of someone with autism, and both the volume and lighting increase to a barely bearable limit.
Different. Look around and notice the differences between the two simulations.
The specific experience is called extrasensory input, and although I'm not 100% positive this is accurate, I do think it's a great way to visualize this and show this so more people are able to understand. This is a bit of an unusual one. The story goes that this footage was taken in 2007 as a news report in Japan. The footage was not used and was found in 2009. Since then, it has been taken down multiple times. The current form exists purely as archived footage. I've got to be honest, I'm the world's biggest skeptic when it comes to ghosts. It's not so much that I don't believe that they exist. I just believe that 99.9% of all footage of them is either fake or easily explainable as something else. And with that said, I think this video is staged. although it's incredibly well made and immersive, I'm always left questioning why, because the creators didn't get anything out of this. They haven't gained fame or money or anything at all. I had to use AI to upscale this video, which I've avoided doing for every other video so far because it was truly unwatchable in its default state. Candle Cove is an online creepypasta horror story written by web cartoonist and author Chris Straub. The story centers on a fictional television series titled Candle Cove, which could only be viewed by a small group of people, predominantly children, who later recall the disturbing show on a web forum. This shares similarities with the missing episodes of cartoon shows mentioned previously, but the show itself didn't exist. The Candle Cove screaming episode is a video that shows puppets moving, weird effects, and screaming. This was meant to be scary, but honestly, it's quite funny. The screaming is so over the top that it's hard to take seriously. The video begins with a warning message. In the year 2571, a video cassette was found in a pile of rubble on the ruins of a certain blue planet. What you are about to witness are not the contents of the cassette. This is an entirely different recording. Following the warning, an unusual and somewhat low-quality cartoon starts playing, accompanied by background screams. Strangely, the audio and visuals don't match or make much sense. The video's description mentions music and drawings by Jason Kovach, aka Dave, from 2001 D2K1. With a little research, you'll find that D2K1 stands for Destination Imagination 2001, an art competition known for unconventional and creative creations. Jason Kovach participated in the 2001 competition with a team, and it appears that their entry was this video titled Agamemnon Counterpart. Jason is thought to be the person who initially uploaded it. Interestingly, the screaming in the video was later identified as audio taken from the French film A Cry from Within, while the other music was from the American film The Human Tornado. However, one mystery remains unsolved: how the video got its title. Apparently, it was Jason Kovach who named it, but no one has managed to contact him to ask why he chose this particular title. The GG channel is another channel of man-made atrocities. However, instead of having a focus on animation or music, this one tends to focus on editing existing content into funny videos with varied results. There is a genre of video on YouTube called YouTube Poop, which is the act of editing footage to create a different story, usually from cartoons. I feel like this is the real-life equivalent. One of their videos is much better known than others, and it's simply titled Bread. It's genuinely quite hilarious. I think it's better to show you rather than explain it.
Do you hear what I hear? We want bread. Come here. I'm Brett.
There's more to this video than what I've just shown you, and I recommend you check them out even if just to see this video in full. A Time to Forget is simply a 1-minute edited video from a Japanese movie called Noroi, The Curse. There isn't a lot to say about this video. It's 7 years old and didn't exactly go viral, but the people in the comments seem to have a real attachment to this piece. No Through Road is an exciting piece of analog horror. Analog horror is a subgenre of horror fiction, an offshoot of the found footage film technique, often cited as originating online during the late 2000s and early 2010s. Marble Hornets from the first layer fits into this category. The story goes, on December 17, 2008, 4 17-year-old boys were found dead in their car at an abandoned farm 10 miles from their hometown. This video contains the unedited footage from the camera belonging to one of the boys. If you have any information regarding the footage, please contact us at the website given at the end of the video. I will state again to be completely clear that this isn't real, but this is a really well-made piece, often referenced whenever analog horror is brought up as one of the pioneers of the genre. There is a real believability to it all, and if you're going in blind, it can be quite scary. I strongly recommend you watch this one.
James, point the camera at me.
James, just give me the...
What are you doing? Turn it back on.
It's not me. I can't.
Turn the bloody lights on! What? No! What are you doing?
Now, this is a bit of a sad one. Obey the Walrus features a distorted version of Itsy Bitsy Spider. This video is incredibly well known, but the original has been taken down. The video features a trans woman titled the Goddess Bunny who was disabled from childhood with polio. The original clip comes from a film from 1998. The woman's real name was Sandy Crisp, and thankfully everyone seems to know that these days. And the comments for this video are filled with nothing but praise and admiration for the woman. Once you know the backstory, it isn't scary at all. It's just kind of sad and makes you empathize with her. She died of COVID in 2021. May she rest in peace and be remembered as someone that made people smile, not someone that made us scared. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to interact with this video and subscribe if you haven't already.
Subscribe.
And until next time.
Are you still doing that hand thing?